Basketball is back. The Utah Valley University Wolverines are coming off a regular season conference championship, but the stakes have been raised. UVU is now a part of the Western Athletic Conference, and they host the Wolfpack from Nevada. That game will be up next on UVU TV. Inside the UCCU building, where we are in the middle of the national anthem right now, so pardon me if I'm talking a little quiet here, but the Nevada Wolfpack are visiting the Utah Valley Wolverines for the first game of this 2013 season, Kyle, and I think we're in for a good one.
We are. This is a long-anticipated matchup. We're very excited to be back here in the UCCU Center for this, like I said, anticipated matchup with the Wolfpack.
Both teams are really needing a victory to get off to a good start, and you know, there's going to be a couple key players who we want to keep an eye on. And we'll start with the Utah Valley University Wolverines. They have many dynamic players. Doughty is great. Winnie Jenkins is experienced. But we are going to single out Katie Kuklok.
Absolutely. Katie Kuklok came off of an exhibition game where she shot the ball extremely well from the three-point line, had 19 points and 9 rebounds to go along with that.
And for the Wolfpack of Nevada, they have a very talented and, as far as height is concerned, very tall center.
Yeah, Mimi Mangetti, 6'7" junior. It's going to be a very tough matchup for Sam Logan, so it'll be interesting to see how that matchup plays out today.
And there's a couple statistical categories that we like to keep an eye on throughout the game. Let's go to the Costa Vida keys of the game. The first one, Kyle, is the Wolverines need to win that rebounding battle.
They have to. That is so incredibly important, especially when you're going up against someone who's 6'7". Sam Loggins and Mimi Mangetti, for example. Sometimes when you're that tall, you get complacent and you rely solely on your height to get rebounds, but you have got to box out regardless of your height.
Also, the Wolverines will need to shoot a good percentage from the free throw line. And finally, Kyle, the Wolverines need to stay out of foul trouble.
Foul trouble was a big problem for the Wolverines in their exhibition game last week. They got into some early foul trouble with Whitney Jenkins and Georgia Agnew. The officiating was very touchy, so I think we can anticipate that again here. But if they stay out of foul trouble, I think we're going to see a little bit of a different game plan today than we saw last week. We are in for a treat here in Orem, Utah, on the campus of Utah Valley University. Both teams are introducing their starting lineups, and then we'll get to the game action here on UVU TV.
Brave and bold, silver and gold.
We're on a mission.
Aggie up.
Bronx Country just got a whole lot bigger.
Mighty Wolverines of UVU.
Join the herd. Lopes up.
Bold moves, big season, grew up.
We are the new gold standard.
We will be champions.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
hate math. I can't count how many times I've heard people say that. And as a math teacher, I take it personally. So, while working on my master's at UVU, I developed ways to help kids not hate math. Does engaged learning make a difference? You do the math.
We are ready for action here in Orem, Utah, and both teams are on the floor, and we are getting ready for the opening tip. And there it is, the Wolfpack control. Quickly, let's take a look at those starting lineups, and there is a whistle from the official. I guess I'd like some clarification here before we are going to give it out of bounds to the Wolfpack. And I did not see a signal from the official, so I'm not sure what the whistle was for. But starting for the Wolverines, number 5, Georgia Agnew. Number 20, Katie Kuklok. Number 23, Tina Doughty. Number 33, Whitney Jenkins. Number 40, Sam Loggins. And for the Wolfpack, starting is number 3, Danica Sharp. Number 32, Ariel Weidman, who you see is trying to get the ball. And if you notice here, Kyle, I'm going to save this point for after I finish the Wolfpack starting lineup. But we've got Ariel Weidman, Danica Sharp. Also starting for the Wolfpack, number 24, Emily Burns. Number 32, which we've already mentioned, number 55, Mimi Mungetti, and number 13, Terilyn Moe. And as you saw there, the Wolverines pressuring, and we're going to see a lot of man defense and half-court and full-court pressure from the Wolverines this season.
That pressure has been very, very impressive so far, especially in that exhibition game that we had already witnessed. The Wolverines have got to they got to worry about that foul trouble, though, as Mimi Mungetti gets the first bucket of the game for the Wolfpack.
We talked about that in the pregame, the Costa Vida pregame, that they're going to go to Mungetti early and often, and we saw that on the first possession. She is tough to defend, and the Wolfpack come up with a turnover. They'll push it. They've got numbers, 4 on 3. Can they convert? And Whitney Jenkins gets a piece, and it's deflected off the hands of Danica Sharp. Great play there by the senior. She is one player, Kyle, that I'm really interested in watching tonight and throughout the season. She led the team in steals last season, and I'm looking for her to take that next step and maybe average 2 steals per season, something we have not seen in a long time.
Yeah, she's such a good defender. She averaged about 1.5 steals a game. I don't remember the exact number, but definitely over 1 steal per game, which is pretty impressive. It looks like we're going to have a foul on the Wolverines. I'm not entirely sure who that foul was called on, but the Wolfpack are going to get the ball out on the side.
Tina Doughty will inbound for UVU. She had an incredible performance in the exhibition matchup against Adams State a week ago with 27 points. And the Wolfpack playing very good defense. Loggins down low, kicks it out to Tina. Bounced off her knee and out of bounds. Ooh, not sure about that one. I thought it went off her foot there, but the Wolverines, will retain possession. They just look out of sync right now offensively.
They do. I think it may take them a couple possessions to really get into their game plan, but they look like they have some jitters at the moment.
Sam Loggins turns it over there. Inbounding was Georgia Agnew, and the Wolfpack really pushing the pace. I did not anticipate this from them. You'd think and we have a traveling call there on number 24, Emily Burns, a junior from Reno, Nevada. And as I was mentioning, Kyle, I did not anticipate this pace when you have a center as talented as Mungetti. Generally, you see half-court, slow offense, but we're not seeing that from Nevada so far.
Yeah, exactly, and maybe the Wolverines can take advantage of that because Mungetti is not going to get down the court as quickly as the rest of her squad.
Very impressive drive there from Whitney Jenkins, and they're going to get Mimi Mungetti with her first personal foul, and if they can get her with her second here in the early parts of this game, it will totally change the complexion of this matchup.
Absolutely, and Mungetti was upset with that call. She felt like she had the right position, but she did throw her hips a little bit into Whitney Jenkins, causing the contact, so it was a good call.
Whitney Jenkins' first free throw, in and out, no good.
Whitney goes up for the second free throw. And it is in, so the Wolverines are on the board, 2-1.
And here's that full court pressure we thought we'd see from UVU. Georgia almost jumped the lane there, great play. And the Wolfpack get it over. Now we see the Wolverines in a zone. 3 up top, 2 down low. Knifing down the lane, a little alley-oop and partially deflect. No, it was deflected. Thought there might have been a foul there for a second, but great defensive play by Tina Doughty to knock it out of Mungetti's hands.
Yeah, great job by doing that without fouling. It's very difficult to go for a ball when it's in Mungetti's hands without fouling. She's got some very long arms, and it's hard not to get a piece of it. As there is a foul on Katie Kuklok, a little shove, so the Wolfpack will get the ball on the baseline. They get it in on the left wing to number 32. And there is a 3-second violation on Mimi Mungetti, so the Wolverines will get the ball back.
Good start for Mungetti, but that foul and then turnover there, kind of knocking her out of her sync. Georgia Agnew, red shirt freshman from Hamilton, New Zealand. She has quite an interesting story, and if time allows, we'll try and get to that. And Tina Doughty is having a hard time handling the basketball right now.
It seems like she's dribbled the ball off her feet, a couple of times so far. Hopefully she can get back into that rhythm that she absolutely had in the exhibition game last week.
That was Katie Kuklok driving down the lane, and you saw the size of Mungetti on that possession, getting a piece of it.
Yeah, and she, if she doesn't get a piece, she's definitely going to alter a lot of shots today.
Georgia to inbound for UVU. She gets it to Katie, a lethal three-point shooter, but she has been guarded heavily by Danica Sharp in the early moments of this game. Georgia down the lane, passes out to Katie, swings it, and knocked out of bounds by Terilyn Moe. A great play from the sophomore Wolfpack guard from Daly City, California.
The defensive effort from both teams today has been very impressive. It's always a pleasant surprise to see teams play very competitive right from the get-go.
Katie inbounds to Tina. Right as the shot clock goes off, almost went in, but came back out, rebounded by number 32, Ariel Weidman. Now it's Sharp on the left side. Kind of bumped there by Jenkins, and I thought that was the right call.
Yep. Yeah, she was more upset at herself. She knew that she had fouled her, but she's got to stay out of foul trouble early in this game. That's okay to get one like that, but if she gets too quick, then that's going to take the Wolverines out of sync.
Yeah, and the reason we're emphasizing the foul trouble so early on in this game, Kyle, is the NCAA has really sent, an emphasis to officials and even coaches that defense is going to be called differently this season. There's Mungetti with a block.
Mungetti getting a huge swat on that.
And there's Mungetti finishing, but coming back to my point, Kyle, is, the NCAA said that it's going to be officiated differently this year.
Yes, absolutely. And, you mentioned before, they're very, very touchy with hand checks. You've got to be careful with where you put your hands because they're going to call fouls very quickly on that. And I think that it throws a lot of teams off because the way that they play defense is very aggressive and they use their hands a lot. So it's going to be very different this year.
Any hand resting on the perimeter will be called a foul. And in the exhibition match for the Wolverines against Adams State, there was 6 fouls called in the first 3 minutes. So they were really, and there's the hand check that we just mentioned. You cannot put the hands on a ball handler on the perimeter. It's going to be called every time. That is, the coaches know that. We were able to talk to UVU's head coach, Kathy Nixon, about a week ago, and she said, this isn't surprising. It's not surprising that the officials are calling this because they said they would, and they're doing so, and the players have to adjust.
You have to. You just like that. I think that's what really makes a great player is being able to adjust to your circumstances and being able to adjust like that and play the way that you need to. That really shows that character of the player.
You see there on the screen Rhea Spooner-Knight. She is the first Wolverine off the bench, number 21, a freshman, also from New Zealand, same city as Georgia Agnew, but different high school. Whitney Jenkins with the ball. It's Rhea. And she's blocked by Mungetti. That's going to be tough down in the paint against her. She is so good at not leaving her feet.
Yeah, I think, the Wolverines may want to try and do a little pick and roll or some drive and kick to get some shots away from those big long arms of Mimi Mungetti.
Sharp spin in the lane, a little floater. They're going to get it for a travel on the spin.
The reason that was called a travel is, she's able to, you can do a spin move, but the fact that she kind of jumped while she was spinning and covered way too much ground for that not to be a travel.
Wolverines making a sub. Tina Doughty is coming out and Kyra Prowse is coming in. And 4 minutes in, Kyle, we're not really seeing a lot of what UVU wants to do.
No, of course not. No team wants to score 1 point in the first 4 minutes of the game, Matt.
5-1 is the score here. And to be honest with you. UVU has just really hadn't, I don't think they've gotten one quality shot off yet. There's Katie from deep. No good. Rebounded by Terrelyn Moe of the Wolfpack. Is she gonna go coast to coast? Long floater. Rebounded by Whitney Jenkins, and now they're gonna push. There's Georgia, and a bad pass by Whitney Jenkins. And that'll turn into a foul and one for Nevada. It's Spooner Knight on the foul for UVU. Terrelyn Moe with an opportunity to add one for the Wolfpack. 7-1, and we have a timeout. With 4 minutes gone by, it's been all Nevada here in Orem, Utah. They lead 7-1, and it has been the big center, number 55, Mimi Mungetti, who's been doing it all for the Wolfpack.
Hi, my name is Tony. I'm a student with UVU Automotive, and this is my classroom. UVU, you can graduate with a diploma and a resume.
I hate math. I can't count how many times I've heard people say that. And as a math teacher, I take it personally. So, while working on my master's at UVU, I developed ways to help kids not hate math. Does engaged learning make a difference? You do the math.
7-1 is the score here in Orem, Utah, and if you look at the stats, Kyle, there's one number that really jumps off the page, and we'd love to share it with our viewers. Wolverines have attempted 5 field goals, and they have not made one yet. They're shooting 0% from the field.
It's a very, very night and day difference compared to their last game. They came off to a very hot shooting start, especially from three-point line. They've had one three-point shot attempt that, you know, it wasn't the best look. I'll say pretty much any look for Katie Kuklok is a good look because she shoots that well. But the Wolverines are really struggling to get the ball in the hole. And what would that reason be, Matt?
I'm not seeing a lot of spacing, and better yet, I'm not even seeing you know, good plays. They're just having a really hard time on Jetty. I mean, she has 3 blocks already. She's really disrupting the Wolverines, and credit needs to be given to Nevada for taking UVU out of what they like to do, but an adjustment needs to be made because this is going to get ugly quick if they can't make an adjustment and get some open looks.
Yeah, and I think they will make an adjustment. Coach Nixon does an exceptional job, and she's been coaching here for a very long time.
19 years.
Yeah, not too worried about it.
Here's the full court press from Nevada, so we've seen that from Nevada, and we've seen it from UVU. Almost a turnover force there, but now we got a 2-on-1. Tina, scoop, no good. Rebounded by Spooner Knight. Fouled and one for Rhea Spooner Knight. Great play there from the freshman off the bench, and Tina had a chance to dish it to her there, but credit to Rhea for staying.
We're going to go to an instant replay real quick. Rhea Spooner Knight did a great job getting that rebound. Looked like she kind of collided heads with one of the defenders for the Wolfpack, but fortunately she was able to get it to go. As the free throw goes as well, she shot her free throws very well in the exhibition game. She did not miss.
She was perfect in the exhibition game, actually, Kyle. 8 of 8 against Adams State a week ago for Rhea Spooner Knight, and she's perfect today. 8-4 is the score here with 15:25 remaining. Tina, right wing, little pull up, in and out, no good for Tina. And shot's looking a little flat tonight.
It has looked very flat. I mean, she's got it straight on, but she's had a couple of those rattle in and out.
In and out there from the Nevada, short on the three-pointer, and great effort there from Tina to tip the ball to Rhea Spooner Knight, and now it's Georgia Kyra with it. Kyra Prowse, a 5th-year senior, and she's coming off a very serious injury that she had to redshirt for last season, and you know, some players don't like to be redshirted, but Kyra's experience was different.
And Kyra said that she really enjoyed her redshirt experience. It was very interesting to hear that. I think both of us were surprised, but she really enjoyed the opportunity that she had to learn and grow by redshirting. And you know, we're going to see how that transpires into this season.
Yeah, she was telling me, Kyle, that not only was she able to get healthy But Kyra was also able to kind of get a different viewpoint. I mean, sometimes you get locked in on how to play as a player, and when you step back for a year, like a redshirt has an opportunity to, you get to view it from a coaching perspective, and it kind of changes your vision of the game, and I think that's benefited Kyra.
I completely agree. It's very interesting because I don't think a lot of players really take a look at it from a coaching perspective unless they have that redshirt opportunity. And I'm not saying, everyone needs to redshirt by any means, but, it definitely has its perks. And, as we were talking about that, Tina Doughty got to the charity stripe. It looked like she missed her first free throw, putting the second one up now, and it is good. We talked about this at the beginning of the game, but they need to shoot their free throws very well, and it seems like the majority of their points have come from foul shots, 6 to 8 right now.
And they're at 80% right now, 4 of 5, and that's something that we're going to keep an eye on. Mo for 3, in and out. Nice box out there from Katie Kuklok, and that pushes the ball. We've got a Tina one-on-one, and whoa, Nelly. I thought that was a clean steal there from Danica Sharp, but she got whistled for the late foul, and head coach Jane Albright is not happy with it, as you saw there on the replay briefly. And Danica Sharp has 2 personal fouls, so that is going to have to sit her out. Checking in at the scoring table is number 15, Kelsey Kalin, a junior guard from Tigard, Oregon. And Sharp, tough break for the senior from West Wendover.
Yeah, huge, very tough break, and it seemed like Tina knew that she got stripped clean. She had a little smirk on her face afterwards as she puts in her first free throw. So the Wolverines are staying alive in this game purely on foul shooting, 7 to 8.
And 5 to make it 6 of their 8 points have come from the free throw line. From the field, Kyle, they're only 1 of 8, shooting 13%. And the Wolverines are actually on a 7-0 run over the last 90 seconds, most of those coming from the free throw line. But defensively, they forced Nevada to miss their last 4 shots.
Yeah, so the defense has been very impressive.
Except for on that possession, as number 44, Amber Smith, a senior forward, was all alone in that corner, and no one came out to contest. I know as a player, and I'm sure you'd agree with me, Kyle, that sometimes it's difficult to want to run out on those because you know that there's no way that you can block the shot, but even running out there can alter a shot.
The Wolverines did such a good job getting out of that full court press and getting it into Rhea Spooner-Knight for that easy bucket.
Rhea Spooner-Knight having quite a game for the Wolverines, off the bench with 5 points and 3 rebounds, and she's been more effective in this game. And as I say, that Sam Loggins is going to come back in.
And Rhea Spooner-Knight plays so much bigger than she actually is. She is, let's see, she is sitting at, where is she? Okay, she's sitting at 5'10", and she's playing like she's 6'3".
Yeah, she's doing a tremendous job, knows how to position her body well. 13:30 remaining here, it's 11-10, Nevada. Nevada has been better efficiently from the field, but it's the free throw shooting that we mentioned in the pregame show that's kept the Wolverines around. Steal there from Kyra Prowsey. They're going to push. It's been free throws and transition. Georgia can't get a handle on it. Swings it. Katie, NBA range 3. Nothing but net. Katie Kuklok.
We've said it time and time again, and she was our key player of the game today. She has got to shoot the ball well, and it's a rare thing to see her miss from beyond the land of plenty.
She put so much work into that shot, Kyle. I don't think I've ever met a college athlete be as dedicated as Katie has been at perfecting that craft.
Give us an example of what she's done to perfect her three-point shooting.
Katie Kuklok is a transfer from the University of San Diego. She redshirted last year. She had to sit out for transfer rules. But before that, when she lived in San Diego, and her family still lives in San Diego, every single morning she wakes up and she shoots three-pointers on their backyard court with her mom. Her mom rebounds for her every single day. So she'll shoot for about an hour, 2 hours every morning in the off-season. From there, she'll go to a skills coach. She'll work on her skills. From there, she'll go to a weight trainer, bulk up, and get better in endurance. Then she'll surf. I mean, everyone's going to have a little break, right? Get a little surfing in there. I mean, San Diego, great weather. And then she comes home and plays pickup basketball at all the different high schools. So she is always perfecting her craft. We're going to have a turnover here by Nevada. Bad pass from number 15, Kelsey Kalin. And then another interesting thing about Katie is during game week, her mom comes up, they find open gyms, and they shoot even more. So she is shooting religiously for hours upon hours every single day, and it's shown in her ability to stroke the three. Clem's off the bench. Backup point guard for the UVU, Ashley Clems from Nevada, missed her first shot. And the Wolverines have the lead, 13-11.
There's not been a whole lot of scoring so far in this game. It's really been a defensive matchup as Sam Loggins gets a great block, and the Wolverines get the ball back, and Kyra Prowse is fouled.
Yeah, it was number 24, Emily Burns, on the foul. And Jane Albrecht has been voicing some displeasure here to the officials. She's the head coach for the University of Nevada. She's wondering why there was no foul on the shot, but rather a foul off the rebound. And that is going to put the Wolverines in the bonus as Kyra was getting ready to shoot a 1-and-1. We'll take a break here on UVU TV. The Wolverines have rebounded nicely from a poor start. Can they keep it up? We'll find out next on UVU TV.
I'm Sylvia Bentley, an anthropology student at UVU studying ancient Peru, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm graduating with a diploma and a resume.
After a rough start, the Wolverines have clawed their way back in it, mainly from free throw shooting, but in the last couple of minutes, Kyle, we've seen them get out in transition.
They sure have, and they've been able to up that lead to 2 points. There hasn't been a whole lot of scoring, as you said before, 13-11 with 12 minutes and 8 seconds left in this first half.
Yeah, well, both teams aren't shooting the ball very well right now. Nevada's shooting 33%, and UVU is shooting 27%. There is a new assistant coach, Jason Glover. He's got a very interesting story.
He does. He's got some NBA coaching friends. If I remember correctly, I believe you had a chat with him. Well, what did you guys talk about?
Yeah, well, he got hired on late. What happened was Dan Nielsen, who is now an assistant coach at BYU, he was the main assistant coach here last season, and in the month of August, which is right before fall camp starts, he took a job at BYU, and so they had a coaching vacancy, and Kathy Nixon and Jason Glover, who is very experienced, he has 27 years of coaching experience, they called up. He was interested in the job. He had just been let go as the head coach of the Nevada Reno NBA D-League affiliate, and he came here. He's coached in the WNBA, he's coached in the NBA under Kurt Rambis for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Wolverines are really lucky to have such an experienced and just well-respected head coach who knows the game, and the players have said so. They all love him, and he also brought another assistant coach with him, Walter Hopkins from the Tulsa Shock of the WNBA. Missed three-pointer there, but there's the height of Mungetti getting the putback. But to finish up our point on the assistant coaches, Kyle, is what could have been a disaster losing the assistant coach so late in the offseason probably turned into a benefit, grabbing two players who have great experience.
I agree. It looks like it was a blessing in disguise. And I have to mention really quick that Sam Loggins on that last play where Mimi Mungetti was able to get that rebound over the top of her, you've got to box out. You know, she is so tall that she's able to reach over the top, but if you box out and you get her out of that position, then you're going to be able to get all the rebounds you want. So you have to remember to box out regardless of how tall you are.
We've got a lot of substitutions here, so let's update the lineup on the floor. Inbounding down on the baseline is freshman Ashley Baugh. Ashley Clems is still on the floor. Tina Doughty, she'll enter the screen here in just a moment down at the bottom of the screen. We've got Katie Kuklok with the basketball, and also Sam Loggins who checked back in for UVU.
And Ashley Baugh actually had a very, very impressive game in the exhibition matchup a week ago. And we can expect her to continue to progress and really, and we're looking at the stat line right here for Ashley Baugh. She was 2 of 3 from the field, finished with 9 points. She also had, she also had 2 rebounds and one block to go along with that.
Very good effort from Ashley Baugh off the bench in her first action, and she's been a young player that's really impressed us, Kyle.
And Mimi Majetti gets another block on Tina Doughty as she goes to the rack.
Yeah, she's up to 4 blocks now already, which is pretty staggering. It's lucky to average 2 a game. In fact, if we take a look at the stats, there has not been a Wolverine player who has averaged 2 blocks per game ever. And right now, Mangetti has 4 in the first half, so to kind of put that in perspective.
Yeah, very interesting. And Mangetti goes to the foul line. Looks like it was a foul on Sam Logan. She has 2 personal fouls, so she is going to hit the bench.
And it was Rhea Spooner-Knight, the freshman from New Zealand, who checked in for her. And we have another sub coming here. It's going to be Georgia Agnew in for Ashley Clems. So it's nice to see Ashley Clems get some playing time at that point guard position.
Definitely. And in this game, because Georgia isn't in foul trouble, we're able to see her play the position that she was meant to play.
Yep. She was experimented at the 2 guard in the exhibition game, and she just looks more comfortable as a point guard.
Definitely.
Agnew with the basketball now for the Wolverines. Katie, a threat to shoot at any moment. Rhea, wide open Georgia. Agnew pinned, passes it down low, and they're gonna put Ashley Baugh on the free throw line. Ashley, a 6'1" freshman from American Fork, Utah, about 15 miles down the road here from Orem. She's another one of those players, Kyle. She's listed at 6'1", but she just plays so much bigger than that.
She does, and she kind of plays like a stretch 4 too, and I think that's really kind of what her role is. She seems like she can do it all, and she shoots the ball from that mid-range very, very well as well.
16-15 is the score here with 10 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. And Ashley Baugh is on the free throw line. She gets both free throws. Full court press here from UVU. Something we did not see a lot last year from the Wolverines, but they feel a little more athletic this season, and so they're going to pressure a little bit more.
Yeah, we see them, running the floor so much more than we have in the past. As number 15, Kelsey Kalin puts in a jumper for the Wolfpack.
Is there a foul on Mangetti? Let's see what the official says. Yes, they do.
Yep.
Is that her second or is it her third?
I think it's going to be, we're going to find out.
Second personal foul. Big foul there, and we mentioned that in the pregame again, Kyle, is they've got to take advantage of getting the Wolfpack in foul trouble, and they've done so. Subbing in for the Wolfpack, number 20, Julia Shelbourne, a sophomore from Whitewater, Wisconsin. And it's Spooner-Knight back on the free throw line.
She misses both, which is very rare because we had not seen her miss a free throw up until this point.
Mo has the basketball for Nevada. 9:40 remaining. Wolverines and Wolfpack in a deadlock at 17. And Ashley Baugh, a little aggressive on the defense there, and she knew it.
I think that's going to be her first personal.
Yeah, and both teams are in the bonus. UVU is actually in the double bonus, so anytime they get fouled, they'll be shooting 2. Nevada's still at 1-1. She needs to make this to get another. Does not do so. And she gets her own rebound, fighting the corner there. And they'll kick it out, swinging it. Good ball movement there. And it's going to result in 2 for number 10. Anna Cameron, also from New Zealand. A lot of New Zealand in this game.
Very interesting. 3 players from New Zealand, and we're going to go to a timeout here. So 17-17.
Yep. We talked about New Zealand, Kyle, and UVU has 2 New Zealand players, and they both play large roles on this team.
They do. Rhea Spooner-Knight has been playing very, very well at that post position. She is the backup for Sam Loggins when Sam Loggins either needs a break or gets in foul trouble. And then we also have Georgia Agnew, the true freshman, who's been playing very well this season.
Yeah, she has a unique story on how she came to UVU.
You want to tell that? I don't remember exactly what it was. I remember you had that interview with her.
Yeah, she grew up her whole life in New Zealand, and then her senior year in high school, she decided that, hey, I want to actually play basketball for as long as I can. She had a connection to Salem Hills High School in Salem, Utah, played there, and the Wolverines got a look at her before she tore her ACL, which is why she wears a knee brace. And they offered a scholarship, and she accepted, and here she is. So
something else interesting about New Zealand, as Katie Kuklok buries a three-pointer, shooting the ball well again, is Georgia Agnew told us that in New Zealand they actually don't have college basketball there. Yep. You know, you can move on to a professional level, but she wanted to play college here.
Tina on defense, and Katie Kuklok burying that three-pointer. It's 20-19, puts UVU back on top. Katie has 6 points tonight, both three-pointers and 3 rebounds as well. Wolfpack will inbound right in front of the Wolverine bench.
Great job by Georgia Agnew to get a hand on that and force them to inbound the ball once more.
Defense has been an emphasis at practice throughout the season for the Wolverines, and we're seeing that today.
Yeah, it's been a huge emphasis. The conditioning has really paid off because they have a lot of energy in the tank.
8:45 remaining here in the first half of the first game for both of these Division I schools. 20-19. It's 5 seconds on the shot clock. Will she get it up? She does, and she draws the foul. That'll be Georgia Agnew on the foul. Her first personal foul. And that'll put number 13 of Nevada, Carolyn Moe, on the free throw line. A guard from Daly City, California. Moe so far has 3 points, 1 of 4 shooting, 4 assists, and she nails that first of 2 free throws.
And that ties the game at 20 apiece. So very, very tight game that we've seen so far in this first half, Matt.
Nails both free throws. Georgia walking it down for UVU, who trails by 1, 21-20. Quiet day for Tina. She had 27 in the exposition game, but she has not scored yet tonight. Rhea down the lane. And no good, but she will be rewarded with a trip to the free throw line.
And that was some great communication between Tina Doughty and Rhea Spooner-Knight, getting in the lane right there. And, you know, it's nice to see that Tina Doughty, you know, she is a scorer, but she can do everything. She averages a good amount of assists, and she rebounds as well. So great job passing it in to Rhea for that.
Rhea, 3 free throw misses in a row, uncharacteristic for her. And she gets that one to go down, tying it at 21. Spooner-Knight with 6 points. She's tied for the game-high lead with Katie Kuklok. Wolverines in that full-court man defense. Moe swings it. They're going to go down low. And it's good for number 21. Nisha LeSure. Agnew with it for the Wolverines. It's Katie now. Passes it to Tina. Nice give and go with Katie and Tina, and it's Kuklok who finishes, and she is such a dynamic scorer. It's very impressive to watch. Rebound by Rhea Spooner-Knight. Wolverines and Wolfpack. Tight game here so far. Tina, Katie had the look, did not get the ball quick enough. Now it's Whitney Jenkins, a senior. Had the mid-range, passed up on it. Now it's Rhea driving and getting another trip to the free throw line. She's already been there.
She's been there 3 or 4 times.
Yep. She's been there 5 times already, and she'll be rewarded with 2 more free throws after this timeout. We'll take a quick break and be back for the remainder of this first half on UVU TV.
They say the devil is in the details. And in here, there are a lot of details. Flavor, color, texture, temperature, presentation. It all has to be flawless. Pressure? Maybe. But with engaged learning, I get a lot of practice. And I'll bet your homework never tasted this good.
Come join the student section and cheer for the mighty Wolverines. Mighty Athletic Wolverine League sports passes are now available. Your mall pass gets you tickets to every NCAA home game, free food at the tailgate parties, prizes at the games, and lots of new friends. Get more information on their Facebook page or by calling Campus Connection at 801-863-8797. Go UVU!
Welcome back to the UCCU Center here in Orem, Utah. We are tied up between a Mountain West Conference and Western Athletic Conference matchup. Ironically, the Nevada Wolfpack were in the WAC last season, but they moved up as the Wolverines were moving up. So I'm sure one day the Wolverines would hope to get to the next level, but the WAC is a great place to be, and they are more than excited to be here. Wolverines are shooting 33% from the field, but it's been the free throw line that's kept them alive so far.
It has kept them alive, but they have not been shooting free throws as well as we had hoped. At the beginning of the game, we talked about how they needed to shoot 80% from the free throw line. They shot a little bit above 90% last game. They're shooting 73% right now, which isn't terrible for a team.
No.
But they do need to shoot a little bit better.
Last season, they averaged 69% on the season, so they're slightly above last season's average. But to be a real threat, you've got to be in that 80 range.
Absolutely, and an interesting stat that we're looking at, we talked about our two players of the game, one for each team, and they are both leading in points. So Mimi Mangetti has 9 total points, and Katie Kuklok leads the Wolverines with 8.
We must have done our homework.
Looks like we did.
Wolfpack break the press. Can they get a bucket out of it? No. Great play there by Spooner Knight, and now the Wolverines are going to push it. Tina, that should be a travel. And it is. She did not put the ball down. It would have been a block had she put the ball down, but she just...
she was so surprised that a defender was there the moment she got the ball that she didn't know what to do.
Yeah, that's not the easiest thing to in a situation like that, is to... You'd hope that your fundamentals kick in, but you just don't plan on a defender being right there when you're not looking.
Exactly. They don't plan that in practice.
Whitney on the steal. Can she finish? Yes, she can. Whitney Jenkins, the senior from Salt Lake City, Utah. That is her first field goal of the game, Kyle. She started all 30 games for the Wolverines last season at that 2-guard position. That should be a charge, and it will be.
You know, Katie Kuklok obviously practiced a lot of things with her skills coach, and, that must have been one of them.
And that's an easy call to make, Kyle. When someone lowers the shoulder, as you saw there on the replay, that is one of the easiest calls the officials can make.
It's really easy. Sometimes, when someone's straight up and both players kind of collide as they're going up for a shot, but like you said, if you lower your shoulder, you see that a lot in the NBA. They get away with it, but it's obviously offensive if you throw your shoulder into them.
Wolverines in the half court, and they've had a little trouble getting buckets out of this. What is something that they can do to get some good looks?
I think they need to space the floor a little bit better, and I think they need to run a few more screen plays to get people open. You also use some give and goes instead of just trying to make some one-on-one plays. They have done a better job of passing the ball. Looks like there's going to be a foul real quick.
Foul on Katie, I think it was on. No, it's a loose ball foul there on the Wolfpack. Nisha LaSure picks up the foul as there was a battle for the loose ball there. And I gotta be honest, Kyle, I'm not a big fan of whistles like that when both players are battling for the basketball. I like to let them have a little physical play there.
Yeah, it really let them play, and that really, it's unfortunate if you're that player involved in that play because you're doing your best to get the ball and there's a little bit of contact. It can go either way, so it's unfortunate.
Subs coming for UVU and Nevada. Checking in for the Wolfpack, number 24, Emily Burns. And for the first time tonight, number 11, McKaylee Worthington, a freshman from Queen Creek, Arizona. Wolverines lead by 4. It's really been hard to get points in this game in the half court. A lot of both teams are scoring in transition and from the free throw line.
I think, Katie just buried that free throw, and she's the type of person you want at the free throw line. And I think it's safe to say, generally, very, very good three-point shooters are exceptional free throw shooters as well.
Yep. Nice play there on the entry pass, and it's Amber Smith, a senior from Moreno Valley, California, who finishes for the Wolfpack. Tina with the basketball. Can she get a look here? 27 points against Adams State a week ago. Right now, she only has 4. Unable to make a field goal. She's 0-4. It's been a rough go for her so far. Georgia down the lane. Nice pass to Katie. One dribble. No good.
I think Nevada did their homework because they're doing a good job of defending Tina, realizing that she had a great game to start off the season.
Three-pointer, Nevada. It's good. Emily Burns.
I think Nevada did a great job of spacing the floor and opening that up so that she could get that wide open look, tying the game again at 28 apiece.
Both teams are shooting 40% from the three-point line. There is another whistle. We're gonna have a reaching foul on number 13, Terrelyn Moe. That's Terrelyn Moe's second foul. And look how many team fouls the Nevada Wolfpack have so far. 15 team fouls in the half. That is a abnormally large number of team fouls for a half. Some teams don't even get that in a game.
Yeah, and I think that's evidence of what we talked about earlier, that the referees, the officiating in this game, and this season in general, the difference is the hand checking, and they're very, very touchy with those fouls.
There's a missed free throw from Georgia Agnew. Nevada with it, tied up here in Orem. And the free throw percentage is coming down for the Wolverines. Now they're at 67%. They started so well, and now they're 14 of 21. Gigantic disparity in free throws right now as the Wolverines have shot 14 more free throws than Nevada.
And that's something that they really need to change. They've got to start shooting the ball from the free throw line better because that's what really kept them in the game early on.
Worthington, the freshman, cannot finish at the rim. Good defensive play from Nevada, and now they're pushing it. Not sure why, did not have the numbers. Burns down the lane, can't get the scoop to go. They wanted a block. The Nevada coaching staff was on their feet wanting a blocking foul. They did not get it. Wolverines with the ball.
I think Georgia did a great job of getting position. She set her feet. There was a little bit of contact, but the contact was on the on her right shoulder, and it didn't knock her over, so the officials didn't make the call.
Kyra!
But definitely would not have been a blocking foul.
Yep, you're right. Prowsey with the left-handed floater in the lane. Nice to see her get a bucket. Has not played in quite some time. There are 3 players on the floor for the Wolverines right now, so there's a nice finish by Nevada, but 3 players for the Wolverines who did not play a minute last season. That's Prowsey, Kuklok, and Agnew, and Ashley Clems will check in for Whitney Jenkins, so they're gonna go with that small 1-2 lineup of Agnew and Clems. And we're gonna take a break here on UVU TV. It's tied up at 30. Neither team can separate. Will anyone take a lead into the halftime break? We'll find out next here on UVU TV.
I don't think of myself as just an undergrad. Okay, so I'm a sophomore, but I'm at UVU where it's all about engaged learning. Leading a project on DNA research, I don't have to wait for grad school to get this kind of experience. As a UVU student, I guess you could say engaged learning is in my DNA.
Bus pass, $5. UVU t-shirt so you can impress the ladies, $25. iPod Nano, $120. A degree from UVU so you can afford your own car someday. Priceless. For everything else, there's student loans.
Tied up at 30 here, Kyle, and the Wolverines, they have several very good three-point shooters. We haven't seen them shoot the 3 as much tonight as we normally do, and that brings me to ask you this question. What are some advantages and disadvantages to being so heavily dependent upon the three-point ball?
Well, I think it's pretty apparent that if you're shooting the 3-ball well, then you're going to put up a lot of points. In the last game the Wolverines played, their exhibition game against Adams State, they put up 85 points. They had 48 in the first half. Right now they have 30 points with 3 minutes and 41 seconds left. So, you know, they've made a few 3-pointers, but they have not had nearly as many opportunities to shoot the 3-ball either. So you've got to give some credit to the defense of the Wolfpack for shutting off that 3-point shot.
Yeah, against Adams State, Kyle, the Wolverines had 26 made field goals, and just under half of those were 3-point makes. The Wolverines had 11 3-point field goal makes against Adams State, and right now they only have 2, so they're not.
And both of those coming from Katie Kuklok.
Yep. Got to give credit to Nevada for taking out Whitney Jenkins and Tina Doughty so far. Both of them are good, consistent scorers, and they just had a hard time getting going in this game. And as I credit Nevada, I also need to credit Utah Valley for being able to find points elsewhere. I mean,
definitely.
Some teams have a hard time scoring when they don't get points from their top 2 scorers that played the season previous, but the Wolverines have found contributions from other people.
Yeah, they sure have, and so the 3-point goes up by, goes out of bounds. The Wolfpack's gonna get it back, but sorry, what was your question again, Matt?
I don't remember asking a question, actually, so.
I thought you did, I apologize.
No, it's all good. Wolverines commit the loose ball foul there. There's been so many free throw attempts in this game. As we mentioned earlier, if you're just tuning in, there has been a, I don't want to say rule change, but certainly there's been an emphasis on certain fouls that haven't been called the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah, they've been a lot more technical with the foul calls. Not saying technical fouls, but they've been really going back to, I guess, the way the rule book states it.
Right.
You know, they're not being very lenient on those foul calls.
26 combined fouls called in the first half. That is a crazy high number. Clems can't get the screen from Bob, crosses into the lane, kicks it to Worthington in the corner, drives down the lane, and it should be a jump ball there. It is. Nice defensive play from Emily Burns of Nevada. But I also like the attack from Worthington. They're not going to open up the 3-point game, Kyle, unless they make Nevada worry about the inside game, and there's been no inside presence today for UVU.
Yeah, and even though she's a freshman, it's nice to see that she was able to recognize that open driving lane and take it to the hole.
Tina can't finish at the rim. Those are shots that Tina normally makes. She's just having a rough offensive game. Tina Doughty right now is 0 for 5 from the field with 4 points coming from the free throw line. Nice driving layup there from Iman Lathan.
Ashley Ball was a little bit late rotating over to contest that, and she was able to get an open shot.
Tina with the scoop. There you go, Tina. First field goal for Tina Doughty. Maybe that'll get her going.
Yeah, I didn't know she had that scoop shot in her repertoire, and a little George Gervin-esque shot right there.
I didn't know you had that French word in your repertoire.
Well, apparently I do.
Wolfpack up by 3. Rebound by Prowsey of Utah Valley. She'll push it. Tina wanted it. She had a look, but Kyra was late getting her the ball. Down the lane, scoop, partially blocked.
It's like a late foul call.
Very late foul call. And we have another foul against Nevada. That was on number 24, Emily Burns. She's picked up her 3rd personal foul. And if you look across that Nevada roster, there's several players with 2 fouls. There's 5 players with 2 fouls, and then Burns has 3. So many fouls committed by Nevada in this first half. It's got to be driving their head coach insane.
Yeah, and I think Coach Nixon is exploiting that and telling her players to continue to drive and take it into the hole because they are getting those foul calls and getting to the line quite a bit.
There's a nice free throw make there from Tina Doughty. She's up to 8 points already, so even though she's had a rough shooting percentage in this home opener, good defensive play there by Ashley Baugh, but Doughty is finding other ways to score, and getting to the free throw line will always get a shooter going. There's a rebound from Tina.
Something I've noticed that the Wolverines are doing a much better job boxing out. They haven't had any problems getting rebounds lately.
Gorgeous transition play there from Nevada. getting on the floor and crisp passing led to that 2 points for Kelsey Kalin. Tina wanted that 3, but good defensive rotation there from Nevada. It's Clems now, crossover at the free throw line. Nice bounce pass down to Ashley Baugh, a little strong on that shot. And it looks like, oh, interesting call there. I don't know about that.
I don't know either, and it looked like Ashley Baugh is one of those moments where you don't think you are where you actually are.
Yeah.
I think she thought she was in a different position and shot the ball way too hard off the glass.
Karchner into the game for the first time for UVU. And the Wolverines played all 13 players the other night against Adams State, and it looks like they're going to have a deep rotation involving everybody once again.
It sure looks that way, and Tina Doughty's going to the charity stripe once more. They really got to start putting in these free throws if they want to extend a little bit of a lead here.
There's a nice make there from Tina Doughty. So although she's not shooting well from the field, she is perfect from the free throw line with 7 free throw attempts, and I love to see that from a scorer. You know that Tina loves to play her game on the perimeter, but what court awareness and basketball IQ does it show when she knows that she doesn't have it from out there tonight, and she's getting points elsewhere?
That's great, and you take a look at typical NBA stars. You've got Kevin Durant, you've got Kobe Bryant, you've got LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. All these players get to the free throw line so much, even if they have a bad shooting night, they're still putting up 25, 30 points a game because they get to the line so much.
Yep, and we're seeing that tonight from Tina Doughty. Turnover there by Nevada. Under a minute here in the first half. Kyra walks it down for the Wolverines. 5th-year senior. Now it's Tina Doughty, the transfer from the University of New Mexico a while ago. She played all last season. And we have an illegal screen called on Ashley Baugh, who has seen a lot of minutes off the bench for the Wolverines.
Ashley Baugh did a good job of getting into the right position for that screen, but it did look like she held on to the jersey of the Nevada player. So obviously she's going to get called for an illegal screen.
Whitney Jenkins getting ready to check back in for UVU. Wolfpack have a slight lead here. Little flip shot there, no good. Strong rebound there from Carly Karchner. A freshman from Hiram, Utah at 6 feet. And that foul will send Karchner to the free throw line, where the Wolverines have been a lot in this first half. Nevada has committed 17 team fouls here in this first half. That is an outrageous number.
And Carly Karchner, as she's going to the foul line, in their exhibition game last week, she was 1 for 1 from the field, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, also bringing up 6 rebounds to go along with that, with a steal, in only 9 minutes of play. So pretty impressive.
Very effective play from her, and the young players for UVU have been good. We've mentioned Karchner, we've mentioned Ashley Baugh, and they're not the only ones. I mean, we could go on and on and on about the play of the young players here at UVU. Bright future for them. But the future now is Tina, it's Whitney, it's Sam Loggins, Katie Kuklok,
Kyra Prowse as well.
4 seconds, can UVU get a stop? Shot is up, no good, rebounded by Tina, and she can't get the full court heave off before the whistle sounds. So it is tied up at 37, back and forth, no one's been able to separate, and that was all that was written in the first half. We'll take a break here on UVU TV and be back in just a moment.
People talk about life after college, entering the real world. But this is engaged learning. I'm not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. I'm learning by doing. I'm at UVU. I'm in the real world every day.
Bus pass, $5. UVU t-shirt so you can impress the ladies, $25. iPod Nano, $120. degree from UVU so you can afford your own car someday. Priceless. For everything else, there's student loans.
I'm Joe Luce, an anthropology student at UVU, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm sharpening my mind and my skills.
I had an idea. Lots of people have ideas. But engaged learning helped me develop my idea and make it real. And now with sales over $1 million, best assignment ever.
All right, we are back, and it's halftime here at the UCCU Center between the Wolfpack and the Wolverines. And Kyle, you know, me and you like to do something during our broadcast. We play a little game called What's Your Headline? And so, Kyle, I have to ask you, what is your headline?
My headline is, where's the three-point shooting?
Interesting. And why do you say that?
I say that because the Wolverines, you know, from what we've seen in the previous game, they shot the ball so well from three-point land, and they got so many attempts. We haven't seen very many attempts this game.
No, we've only seen 6 attempts.
And I don't know what the exact number was as far as the attempts were in the exhibition opener last week, but they had quite a few three-point attempts.
They shot 19 and they made 11 against Adams State.
Which is outrageous, and their three-point shooting percentage is actually not bad today. They just have not shot it many times.
Yeah, and a lot of that is because of the Nevada defense. It's hard to get good looks from the three when the defense of an opponent doesn't respect your interior game. And that's not to say that Utah Valley does not have an interior game. They do. Sam Loggins is skilled. They have people like Tina and Kyra who can attack. But it's a lot different to attack when you got a 6'7" center in there defending the paint like Mimi Minjetti.
Very different. So what's your headline, Matt?
You know, my headline has been foul trouble for both teams. I mean, the amount of fouls called, 18 team fouls on Nevada and 12 for UVU.
In the first half. This isn't the end of the game. This is the first half.
Right, in the first half. And so, I mean, the story has been foul trouble, both teams. And I think some of the offensive struggles has also been, how do you get in a rhythm when every other play there's a whistle called?
Yeah, you can't. There haven't been many times where you see the team actually, trade blows going up and down the floor with some nice transition buckets or anything. It seems like the team goes to the opposite side, gets fouled, free throws, and then, we see the same thing on the other side.
Right, but what we're seeing is half-court set, whistle, free throws, down at the other end, same thing. I mean, 30 total fouls called is a very high number.
Yeah, and you can't take away from the credit. You got to get credit for both teams' defense. Both teams have played very, very well. Yeah, both teams have gotten into foul trouble, but they're not ready to quit on the defensive end.
Before we get to the highlight reel, let's just take a quick peek at an update to the keys to the game that we talked about. We wanted to look at that free throw shooting. The Wolverines are shooting 70% right now, and the Wolfpack are shooting 90%, but the Wolverines have shot significantly more free throws. Wolverines have attempted 27 free throws so far, so shooting 70% is not bad, but they got to bring that up. And then if we look at the rebounding battle, the Wolverines have a slight edge, 19-18. So they're right there. There's work to be done. But I think they're right on par with some of those keys that we mentioned in the pregame. Now let's get to that highlight reel from the first half. A lot of very interesting plays that happened and exciting plays. A lot of whistles, like we mentioned.
Yeah, and with that free throw percentage, the reason why we gave it such a high expectation is because we know that they're capable of it.
There's Minjetti finishing soft at the rim. Wolverines, we talked about that defense, and Tina had a nice defensive play before Minjetti cleaned up the miss. And there's an and one opportunity for Nevada. They've been living there. Defensive breakdown from UVU as Rhea Spooner-Knight was unable to get out there, but credit to Nevada for hitting the three. Here's Katie Kuklok drilling one of her 2 3-pointers from the first half. Spooner-Knight, what a finish there. Great pass from Kyra. And there's Minjetti, the height of Mengetti, 6'7".
It's so difficult to rebound, and we mentioned the box out game. The Wolverines have done a pretty good job boxing out, but it seemed like I don't want to single anybody out, but it looks like Sam Loggins is so used to being the biggest person on the floor, and she is relying solely on her height. She needs to do a better job boxing out Mengetti.
Yep. And the Wolfpack, as you see from these first half highlights, have been living in the paint. Here we see Georgia Agnew and see all the action happening on the perimeter, but just not a lot of lane. And there's that give and go from Tina to Katie. I wonder if we'll see more of that.
I sure hope so, and the Wolverines are doing a better job of spacing the floor, and when you get that space, just that little open pocket gives you so many great opportunities to score.
Long three-pointer there for Emily Burns of Nevada. Here you'll see the nice left-handed flip shot from Kyra Prowse. I didn't know she could use both hands like that.
I didn't either, surprise.
And finally, there was the blocking foul. So you saw there a little bit of everything. Nevada has been making a living in the paint, and UVU has been unable to do that, but the Wolverines, like we mentioned, have found points elsewhere.
Yeah, I think one other point that I want to make, I think the Wolverines need to do a better job with their defensive rotations, because if you're late on that rotation, you're either going to get a foul called or they're going to get an open shot.
Yep, good point. Well, Kyle, we are here in the UCCU Center, and for fans making their first trip out here tonight, they're going to notice a few changes in here.
Yeah, one of those big changes is the video board that's hanging right above us. It's a nice little addition that they've put in.
Little.
Okay, when I say little, I mean large, obviously.
And there's a picture of it right there on the screen for you guys. First time ever that UVU's has the capability to broadcast live shots like you see in the camera there. There's replays, there's scores, there's fouls. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's a nice big step for this UVU program to have that in this building, and it's needed. This is a pretty big stadium to play in for the level of college that we're at right now.
Yeah, it fits 9,000 fans when full. Obviously, we're not seeing the attendance that we'd like, and don't get me started on fan attendance.
Let's not get that started. But please, we want to see more fans out here. This is an incredible team with an incredible coach, and they deserve your support.
Yeah. And for students, it's free. So
exactly.
No reason not to be here if you're a UVU student. Let's take a break here. We'll come back and talk more about some players and some stats before the second half begins. So break time here on UVU TV, and we'll be back with some more chat in just a moment.
I'm Patty Garcia, a geology student at UVU, and this is Engaged Learning. At UVU, I'm learning by doing.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
It is the first game of the 2013-2014 basketball season, and the Wolverines have the privilege of opening up at home in front of their home fans on a kind of revamped home court with new video boards and LED ribbons and screens in the corners. So it's beautiful. And because it's the first game, I think it's appropriate that we have a little season preview. So these are opinions and things we would like to see from individual players. In no way does this reflect any opinion of the coaching staff or anyone involved with the team. These are our personal opinions. I couldn't preface that anymore. So at home, please don't go crazy if we say anything that you don't agree with. These are just our opinions here, and they're positive opinions. I will preface that by saying these are, I mean, everyone that we've seen at practice and in the exhibition game, they've played well. They're good players. So let's just briefly run through the roster here and talk about what we like and what we'd like to see from each player.
Okay, great.
Well, let's just, start alphabetically. Ashley Clems, point guard, a junior.
I think from Ashley, we really need to see her utilized in that point guard spot a little bit more. And, it is early, so we can't really be critical of that. But in, today and what we saw in the exhibition game, she wasn't really utilized as a point guard very much. It seemed like she was more of a decoy. It seemed like, she played more of a two guard, which isn't her strength. She's a scoring point guard. She does pass the ball well, but she is a scorer as well. And so I think it's great that they bring her off the bench because Georgia Agnew is more of a pass-first type of point guard. And, you also on the bench, you need a point guard that can score as well, and she does shoot the ball well. So I'm hoping that we see a little bit more scoring out of Ashley Clems this year and her being utilized as the point guard.
What about Sam Loggins, Kyle? What would you like to see from her this season?
I think she needs more touches. I guess that's kind of critical of the team in general, getting her the ball a little bit more. But she also can't hesitate to shoot the ball. And, she has been working on her post game, and she does shoot the ball from the mid-range really well. And so she's a very multi-dimensional big player. She just hasn't had that many opportunities to utilize that yet. So I hope to see that more from her.
And she will. She won't always be playing against someone that's 6'7".
That is true.
So, I mean, she was good in the Adams State game. She has such soft hands around the rim. So we're going to take another break here on UVU TV right before the second half begins. But that was just some thoughts and opinions of a couple players from the Wolverines basketball team. So let's take another break here, and we'll be back with the second half on UVU TV.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
I'm Sylvia Bentley, an anthropology student at UVU studying ancient Peru, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm graduating with a diploma and a resume.
There's Kyra Prowse, fifth-year senior, and the players are coming back on the floor for the second half. Wolverines have been exceptional at getting to the free throw line, not converting at the rate that we would hope they would, but when you get there 27 times and you make 19, that's half of their points. You're doing something right. But Kyle, quickly, what's an area that you'd like to see them improve on in the second half?
Well, I definitely want to see them shoot their free throws better. I think they're going to continue to get to the hole and draw fouls because the referees are giving them pretty much any foul they want. But I also want to see some more three-point shooting. I think they need to do a better job of spacing the floor so that they can get some open shots.
Monster rebound there from Tina Doughty as Mengetti missed the easy jump hook. And now I'm anxious to see if the Wolverines can manufacture some more points out of that half-court set. Loggins down low. Could have passed it out. It's deflected out and stolen by Ariel Weidman. That leads to a three-pointer, way short. Katie kind of smiles and knew that the ball just kind of came past her. Great play there from Whitney Jenkins to recover as number 20, Julia Shelbourne, kind of crept in and snuck into the low block there.
She did. They did not expect her to show up there, right there.
Sharp will inbound. She was in serious foul trouble in that first half. Haven't seen her in a long time. One of the better players for Nevada. They depend on her to score and play good defense.
I love watching Whitney Jenkins play defense. She is so intense. It's crazy.
Whitney on Sharp. That's quite the matchup. Nice contest on the shot there, but Mengetti just too big, too tall, and cleans up. And a lot of her points have come from offensive rebounds.
Yeah, second chance points. She's been able to put up quite a few of those. And Sam Loggins did a good job rotating out to be able to, try and deflect that jump shot, but she was nowhere to be found on that offensive rebound.
Nice pass from Georgia out to Katie. Katie down the lane, really not getting anything going. Oh, nice pass there. Can Georgia finish? No. And the Wolverines are, and rightfully so, I may add, but they're intimidated by the size of Mengetti down low. They've had a couple opportunities, and there's a made bucket by Nevada, but they've had a couple opportunities to maybe put up floaters or attack the rim, and they drive and kick, and Nevada is not respecting the low post game from UVU. Tina on the miss.
And Tina as well on that miss right there. She was way long. I think she anticipated Mengetti getting a hand on it, so she shot it too hard.
3 in the key if I've ever seen one. No call. There's a loose ball foul, but they had 2 players in the post for a long time.
It looks like they're going to get Sam Loggins on the foul there, so an early foul for her in the second half. She now has 3.
Weidman in that baseline. Tries to go baseline on Georgia. And a nice defensive effort there from Tina and Georgia. Georgia forcing her under the basket, and then Tina closing off that passing lane.
Yeah, Georgia did a good job of letting her, kind of letting her go over there, not necessarily completely shutting it off. And Tina did such a good job. It's so critical for her to step in there and block that driving lane on the baseline.
Smith, mid-range jumper, no good. It could have been over the back there by Shelbourne, but no call. Katie had position, and Shelbourne just went over the top and snatched it up. Now it's Sharp losing the handle. That'll be a turnover. UVU scoreless so far in the second half. They're on a 3-minute scoring drought.
And the Wolverines defense is not making it easy for Nevada to get any points on the board.
Georgia coming down. I wonder if this is where they go to Clems, try to get a little more scoring from that point guard position. Katie. Speaking of scoring in Georgia, something she told us, and that is an easy foul call there on Mengetti.
It sure is, and the Wolverines want to get her into foul trouble. Absolutely, if she's out of the game, they have a much better chance of closing this lead. It's not a huge lead, but 4 points is a pretty big lead from what we've seen so far.
There's a couple motions that officials look for blatant foul calls, and there's an illegal screen by Sam Loggins. We talked in the first half about lowering your shoulder when you're driving to the hoop. Defensively, if there's any lumberjack type chop,
yes,
you're getting called, period. And that's what you saw on Mimi.
Absolutely. And Sam Loggins is getting into some foul trouble. She now has 4 personals, so she has got to hit the bench, and she's going to be there for a while.
Yep, they're going to rely on the freshman from Hamilton, New Zealand, Rhea Spooner-Knight. She was kind of an unexpected surprise in that Adams State game, and they're going to call on her to have a big role.
I agree, and if she continues to rebound the ball well and shoot free throws well, she's struggled a little bit today, but she is a very good free throw shooter. If she can do that on a consistent basis, then she'll be a huge asset to this Wolverine squad.
Rhea from the free throw line, short, rebounded by Mengetti, and just another example there where it looks like UVU is just hesitant to go into the lane. Mengetti can't catch the pass, turnover. Tina with it, 3-on-2. She's gonna try and keep it herself, and a blocking foul. Good drive there by Tina. I think that call could have went either way on the block charge.
Yeah, it was close, but it didn't look like she lowered her shoulder into her.
Here's the replay. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that's a good call.
I think it's a good call too.
Sliding
she went
there
straight
at the
up.
end.
She didn't throw her shoulder into her to draw contact, so I agree. It was a good call.
She was there in time, but she didn't quite have the angle as she slowly was trying to slide in there. And if you want to draw that charge, you've got to be set. Any sliding movement from left to right.
And the angle of your body has got to be where, that's something the officials take a look at. Even if you are standing flat-footed and if your body's turned in the wrong direction, then they're going to call foul.
Yep, a blocking foul.
Yeah, exactly.
Wolverines on the board. Their points came from the free throw line. Something we're familiar with, and credit to them. When you need points, you got to find them, and no easier way to get points than the free throw line. Mengetti, right-handed hook. Nice touch there from the 6'7" center from Libreville, Gabon. I don't even know if I said that right.
Not sure.
Rhea, no good. Nice effort there for her to get into the paint, but UVU has got to find a way to get easier buckets. Nevada
they need to get
down.
some transition buckets, which could happen right now as a steal by Whitney Jenkins.
Tina. Oh, try to get to Katie. She's got to look. And Mengetti. Get down. Katie. Off the back of the rim.
Mengetti is causing all kinds of mental problems for the Wolverines right now.
Yeah. Weidman with the ball. Top of the arc. Nevada has taken a commanding lead in the rebounding department, 26-21. And Nevada is also better in the paint, and that's something we've been talking about in the second half. 24-12, Nevada with a 12-point advantage in the paint. We will take a break here in Orem, Utah. We'll be back with more second half action in just a moment here on UVU TV.
To the young ones, the small ones, the ones they had planned on leaving in their shadow. I know your determination, your heart, the need you have to prove something, the sweat, the miles, the hours that stretch into days, and nights, and years. I know because I've been there. And now is ours. The earth and the sky are ours. And this is where you belong. Join us. We're waiting for you. And so are they.
You just saw a commercial for the men's Wolverine basketball team, and they will play next here on UVU TV against IUPUI. They played them last season in Indiana, and the Wolverines came up short. They'll look to get even with
redemption game.
IUPUI. That is at 7 o'clock here on UVU TV, immediately following this game. But this game is what's happening now, and UVU finds themselves in an interesting position. They only have 2 points in the second half, and they are really having a difficult time getting buckets in the half court.
They are, but it looks like Mengetti is taking a break right now, so they need to continue to attack that paint, and hopefully they'll shoot the ball a little bit better, knowing that they don't have that towering Mengetti there.
Turnovers aren't going to help. Mengetti has 3 personal fouls, 13 points, 6 rebounds. And the big stat that everyone is wondering about is how many blocks does Mengetti have? 5 blocks.
Wow.
And as I said earlier, no UVU player has ever averaged 2 blocks a game for the women's team. Mengetti is at 5. It's incredible.
Yeah, very, very impressive.
Very good defensive player. Weidman trying to go down low. This time they're going to look at Nisha LaSure. She's no good. Battle for the rebound. Karchner, good effort there from Carly Karchner, the red shirt freshman from Hiram, Utah. You got to be willing to box out and get dirty for loose balls.
And that's what's going to get you playing time. You know, sacrificing your body and showing that you really want to be there.
And Carly has made the most of every minute she's played this season. Could have been a reach there on Mo. No call. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Tina, long three, no good. Rebounded by Kyra Prowsey. Right hand, no good. She wanted a whistle. And we have a turnover on Nevada. They cleaned up the rebound, but could not keep it in play. So Wolverines get a break there, and I was unable to see if there was any contact on Kyra's shot attempt.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell either, but you know, Kyra, she needs to find her niche on this team. We haven't really seen something that Kyra does. And you know, she is a very talented player. We're not taking away from that. She can score, she can play defense, she can do a lot.
Did you see that?
I did just see that.
Holy
The very deep three-pointer from none other than Katie Kuklok.
Our player of the game. Got to get the rebound here. Strong rebound from Georgia. She's pushing it to Tina. I'd go right back to Katie. No, it's Karchner. Can't finish. But it's Kyra. Gets the rebound. Tina got to get Katie in the corner. And it's Karchner with the offensive rebound. I can't believe they didn't go to Katie there. Sometimes, Kyle, and me, you've played enough basketball. Someone's shooting it like that.
And you got to give them the rock.
Yeah. Get down. Katie, step back. No good there. And oh my goodness, Georgia Agnew. Go back to Katie. No, it's Tina mid-range. It's good. Tina. Back-to-back buckets for the Wolverines in the half court. Maybe that'll get them going.
Critical error by Nevada by letting the ball go out of bounds and creating that opportunity for the Wolverines to have all those offensive rebounds and get a bucket out of it.
Yeah, Kyra misses that layup. It could have been a Nevada ball, and next thing you know, it's a 5-0 run for UVU. And they force another turnover. Got to push the tempo here. They go down. Oh, it's going to be a turnover by Georgia Agnew. Not a good pass.
You know, a pass like that can kill the momentum that the Wolverines had. They do have a 1-point lead. It's 44-43 with 12 minutes and 57 seconds left in this game today.
I love the activity that we've seen these last 2 minutes from UVU.
It's been crazy. This lineup has been very impressive, but we do see a substitution. Mimi Mengetti is back into the game, so that could change things up.
Tremendous height advantage. You're asking a freshman, Carly Karchner, to guard someone 7 inches taller. Will they force feed it down to her? No, they're going to double, and they catch the Wolverines sleeping. They were trying to double Mengetti.
Yeah, Nevada did such a good job. They saw the double coming from Mengetti, and it left number 21 wide open for the bucket.
And it's Katie Kuklok, splash from three-pointer.
I think is that 4 or 5?
That's 4 for her, and Katie is up to 16 points. It's Katie and Tina scoring, but in different ways. Katie's been hitting the three. Tina's been getting to the free throw line, and I'm really enjoying seeing some half-court buckets for the Wolverines. They've really struggled with that today, and it seems like they're opening it up here. Katie's dialed in. Naisha, nice play there. Back-to-back buckets from Naisha LaSure, sophomore from Sparks, Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada's doing such a good job of getting open shots. The Wolverines are having to work pretty hard for their buckets right now, and they're just trading blows.
Go back to Katie. Nice play by Kyra there. Even though she did not get the foul call or the bucket, it's important. Georgia forces the missed layup, and Katie collects the rebound. Great play there by Georgia Agnew.
Yeah, she's not quitting. It was a great job to stay with that.
Georgia gets it. Now it's Katie. She's got a look. Will it go down? No good. Just a little bit to the right. Coaches are screaming. They do not want Katie.
Yeah, they're screaming shooter. They want her covered.
Yeah, that's the Nevada coaches we're talking about there. We have a Nevada player about to check in. It's Anna Cameron. Tied up at 47. No separation at all in this game. Kyra hounding Sharp defensively. 7 on the shot clock. It's Naisha. Pump fake. That should be a walk. No? That's just a good move.
I guess so. Typically on that type of move, you're supposed to jump off of both feet, but she jumped off of one, so it's very debatable.
Tina and Georgia slowing it down here. No team is really in any foul trouble threat in the second half. Full teams at 3. Tina for 3. It's long, no good. Rebounded by Kyra. The Wolverines have been doing work on the offensive glass. Georgia, little floater with the right hand, no good. And Carly Karchner had a hand on the rebound but couldn't get it. And I'm starting to see a little fatigue from this group, Kyle.
I agree. They've been pushing it, and looks like there's going to be a foul on Georgia. You know, the defensive effort is very, very high, but it looks like that momentum is coming to a dead stop. We haven't seen as many foul calls so far in the second half.
No, it's been a much cleaner game, and I think that's why we've seen more excitement. We're going to take a break here on UVU TV. The exciting second half will continue in just a moment.
I had an idea. Lots of people have ideas, but engaged learning helped me develop my idea and make it real. And now with sales over $1 million, best assignment ever.
Wolverines trail by 2. It's been a very exciting game here in Orem, Utah. And you said something a moment ago that I want to talk about a little bit more, Kyle. You said that Kyra Prowsey has kind of been unable to find her niche so far. And you did mention she is ultra talented, all the skills in the world, but where do you think she could find a niche on this team?
I think, for one thing, she's a great defender. I think she can find a niche defensively, but she's got to be able to score as well. You know, we've seen them practice, and we know that she can get to the hole and she can shoot the ball well as well. But you know, we haven't quite seen that trend. We haven't seen it transition into the game yet.
Right. I'd like to see her be a little more aggressive at taking it to the rim. She's such a strong basketball player for the Wolverines. She's probably capable of drawing contact recently. Missed shot there from Mengetti, and then we have a player on the floor. That was Naisha LaShure. Loose ball foul called on. No, it's going to be a foul on Naisha LaShure. Interesting whistle there. LaShure now has 4 personal fouls, and very interesting sequence there. I understand the coach's frustration. She was begging for a timeout. Had to walk halfway onto the floor to get the timeout. She is hot at the officials. I wonder if we'll see a technical here.
I don't know. Pretty close to one, but that play was very interesting.
All right, we're going to take another break here, and the coach is still staring down the officials. We'll keep you updated on that after this break.
I'm Joe Luce, an anthropology student at UVU, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm sharpening my mind and my skills.
The life of an official has got to be difficult here. No technical foul was awarded to Coach Jane Albright, her 6th season as the coach of the Wolfpack, but she got in the face of the officials there and let her know that she has been displeased with a lot of the calls. And on that particular call, I don't know how you call it on the person laying on the floor.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was one of those controversial things that I don't know, we'll just leave it alone. Back to the game, huh?
Wolverines down by 2 here, and they've done a much better job in these last few minutes of getting buckets in the half court, and Kyra saves almost a turnover. 10 on the shot clock. Clems over to Katie. That would have been a long 3. She won't pass it. 7 on the shot clock. Swinging it. Clems drives down the lane. Floater for Ashley Clems. No good. Rebounded by Anna Cameron.
Not sure if there was contact on the ball at all on that shot, but definitely came up with air, and there's going to be a foul on Carly Karchner, who is fighting hard to battle against the 6'7" Mimi Mengetti.
That is the Wolverines' 5th team foul. 2 more, and that'll put Nevada in the bonus. They'll go back to Mengetti. Right hand, too easy.
They had her triple teamed, and she just went right up over the top of everyone.
Mengetti fell down, but she got back up. Doughty down the lane, and she was getting ridden hard by Julia Shelbourne. I know the coach for the Wolfpack didn't appreciate the call, but I thought it was the right whistle.
I agree. You can't keep your hand on the person's hip and ride them all the way to the basket. You're going to get called for a foul.
Wolverines and Wolfpack have committed 5 team fouls each in the second half, and the Wolfpack are in the middle of a 6-0 run, but it's the Wolverines with the basketball. Kyra, it's Tina. Tina Doughty with 14 points, only 2 of 11 shooting, but 10 of 10 from the free throw line. Clems, a little long, no good for Ashley Clems. She is 0 for 4 from the field, no points off the bench. Some of them have looked good, but they just have not fallen for Ashley. And they're gonna get Ashley on a whistle. Foul, drew by Terilyn Moe, a sophomore from Daly City, California. She'll go to the free throw line. Moe is perfect from the free throw line. There's the replay. Yep, and there's Clem's little reach in as she went to shoot. So that looked like a good call.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating for Ashley Clems because, you know, she's playing hard. She's got a couple of fouls, and she hasn't made a bucket yet, and she's going to go and hit the bench right now as Georgia Agnew comes in, which I think at this point right now is a smart substitution.
Why is that?
I think Georgia, you know, runs the offense a little bit better. She's utilized. She really is more of a passing point guard, and I think she just controls the game better.
You don't see a free throw made like that one. Just bounce on the rim before it finally fell down. So 1 of 2 for Terilyn Moe. Tina tripping, passes it to Georgia, and it's going to be knocked off the leg of Mimi Mengetti. So Georgia tried to squeeze it through an open lane and found the leg of Mengetti. It's still going to be Wolverines basketball. Rhea Spooner-Knight into the game for UVU. She has the ball now. Katie off a screen. 2 dribbles. Passes down to Rhea. Mid-range jumper. Rhea long. No good.
That was a nice play though. A nice little screen and pop out. And so she had a good look at the basket.
That should be a jump ball. Great defensive play there from Kyra Prowse.
You know, that, like we said before, that could be her niche. And, you know, that was a great defensive play, forcing the turnover because the Wolverines get the ball, the arrow's pointing their direction.
Wolverines are desperate for a bucket right now, Kyle. Trailing by 5, they have not scored. They're 0 of their last 7 field goal attempts. Ever since Katie had that quick burst of 5 points.
There hasn't been a whole lot of offense since that.
And Coach Nixon called a timeout as Tina Doughty was trapped in that corner.
Yeah, nearly got a 5-second call, but Coach realized that, and a great timeout call by Coach Nixon.
So there was a brief moment there where the Wolverines looked to finally put the difficulty of scoring in the closet, but it's kind of crept back up. We'll talk about that in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break here on UVU TV.
Come join the student section and cheer for the Mighty Wolverines. Mighty Athletic Wolverine League sports passes are now available. Your mall pass gets you tickets to every NCAA home game, free food at the tailgate parties, prizes at the games, and lots of new friends. Get more information on their Facebook page or by calling Campus Connection at 801-863-8797. Go UVU!
They say the devil is in the details. And in here, there are a lot of details. Flavor, color, texture, temperature, presentation. It all has to be flawless. Pressure? Maybe. But with engaged learning, I get a lot of practice. And I'll bet your homework never tasted this good.
The Wolverines had a lead of 47-45 before Nevada has strung together a 7-0 run over the last 3 minutes and 59 seconds. The Wolfpack is shooting a much higher percentage than the Wolverines. Nevada at 42%, UVU at 25%. You look at the free throw disparity, Wolverines have a huge advantage in that category. They're 21 of 29, whereas Nevada's only taken 12 free throws. They're 10 of 12. Nevada has more turnovers, 15-11. Both teams at 32 rebounds apiece, but a big difference in this game, Kyle, has been the bench points for Nevada and the points in the paint for Nevada.
I agree. And in this half, the Wolverines have not gotten to the foul line nearly as many times as they did in the first half.
No. Tina's got it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Gets a screen. Mid-range for Tina. No good. And that's a bucket that she normally makes.
Yeah, it sure is. And you got to go back to that mental game with Mengetti and her long arms. Even though she wasn't anywhere really near that shot, I think it's really getting to the Wolverines.
Yeah, it's taken a couple of the Wolverine players out of their rhythm. Wolverines need a stop. Kyra wants help. Spooner Knight unable to get there in time. And Ariel Weidman gets the bucket. And now it's the largest lead of the game for Nevada at 7. Coming up on 7.5 minutes. Wolverines having a difficult time scoring. I know we've said that over and over again, but if it wasn't the truth, I wouldn't be repeating it. Got to get buckets down low. Rhea draws the foul on Mengetti. Is that her 4th? It is. Got to get her out of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Wolverines have got to take advantage of her not being in the game. It seems like they really excel offensively when she's not there.
Rhea Spooner Knight onto the free throw line. She's started the game 3 of 3 from the free throw line, Kyle, but she's missed 4 in a row. She's 3 of 7.
You know what's interesting as she makes that first one is it looks like Burns is going to come into the game for Mengetti, but Burns also has 4 fouls.
Interesting. Got to attack both of them. When you have an opportunity to foul someone out, you've got to take it. I mean, we talked about how UVU's been afraid to attack the paint, and rightfully so. Credit to Nevada. It's, I mean, no one wants to get rejected over and over again, but now that she's not in there, you've got to take advantage of that and really put an emphasis on the paint. Double. Nevada gets out of it. Three-pointer. Amber Smith. No good. Rebounded. What? I don't know about that, as 2 Nevada Wolfpack players were fighting for the basketball, and somehow UVU gets called for the foul.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that. We didn't get the best view of it because there were a few players in our way, but very interesting call.
Danica Sharp on the free throw. Nevada is in the bonus, so every time UVU commits a foul, Nevada will shoot free throws now, and Sharp made the first one. Did not play a lot in the first half. Had a lot of foul trouble. But she's back and contributing for the Wolfpack, 56-49. Katie, left wing. Rhea set the screen, but was unable to free Katie. She'll get it back to Rhea. Back to Katie. She had a look, passes on it. Now it's Tina. Rhea Spooner Knight, no good. Rebounded by Nevada. And even though Mengetti is not in the game, UVU still struggling to get clean looks. Long three! Danica Sharp. Big three-pointer for Nevada, and that extends the lead to 10. Sam Logan's about to check in. Georgia, it's Kyra. No good, back rim, rebounded by Nevada, and
the Wolverines just look totally out of sync right now, and Nevada is taking advantage of them.
Another three-pointer, could be a backbreaker. No good, but rebounded by Weidman. Nevada, you can just sense the confidence they have right now as they've opened it up to 10. Kyra with the block. They got to get a bucket out of this. 3-on-2, Georgia. And she pulls back to Kyra, cutting, passes it out to Tina. And they do not get any buckets in transition. But Tina down the lane, no good. And it's just been a tough night for Tina
Looked like they were still a little bit too afraid to just take it to the hole. Georgia had a lane one-on-one. She really should have taken it to the hole with that, and one opportunity. And Nevada is going to take a timeout.
Beautiful finish there from Ariel Weidman, and they've really opened it up with defense. But UVU, they're not taking advantage of the lack of size in the game right now. I don't blame them. I mean, it's difficult when you're, so perimeter oriented, but when you have an opportunity to really get into the paint, you have got to force the issue.
Yeah, there's a lot of time left in this game. There's 5.5 minutes left. Pretty big deficit. This is the largest lead of the game for either team.
Yep.
So the Wolverines have to do something about it right now.
UVU, just been a tough night. I mean, we've mentioned that Tina has just had a rough time shooting tonight, and you know what, Kyle? There's no blame to pass around because everyone has rough nights in every aspect of life, let alone sports. I mean, Tina's not always going to shoot 2 of 13.
I agree. And Doughty, she's really got to get to that free throw line some more. She's 10 of 10 from the charity stripe.
Right.
So.
But what I meant to say was it's not just Tina who haven't shot well tonight. It's the whole team. And when you only shoot 23% per game, it's going to be difficult to win that game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Nevada is shooting 43%, which is nice, but it's not red hot.
Yeah, it's not like the team shoots 43 and they're automatically going to win. The Wolverines just are not shooting the ball well.
Nope. And credit to Nevada. I mean, they've clogged the middle and they defended the perimeter. I think they knew that UVU likes to play on the perimeter, and they've made it difficult for the Wolverines to find quality looks from outside. Katie's broke free a few times, but other than that, they defended the three-point line very well. Kyra to Sam, now it's back to Katie. She's got a look, she'll take it from the corner. Little short, rebounded by Tina. 2 dribbles, spins back in, and can't finish, but earns a trip to the free throw line. Solid effort there from Tina Doughty to get back to the place where she's perfect.
Exactly. She's been shooting the free throw ball so incredibly well that she's right back where she needs to be.
And we have a foul out, Nevada. Emily Burns, 5 fouls. She is done for the afternoon. Checking in for the Wolverines is Nisha LaSure and also Carly Karchner for Sam Loggins. Sam Loggins with, look at this. This has got to change in the future, Kyle, but no points, no field goal attempts.
How many rebounds?
No rebounds for Sam Loggins. The only statistical category that Sam has registered a number in tonight has been fouls.
Personal fouls, yeah.
That's not her fault.
No, it's not, definitely, but
a lot of it has to do with Mengetti, who has defended her, but some of it is, UVU's got to be conscious enough to give her some touches.
I agree. And Tina goes 1 of 2 from the free throw line.
Ball poked out by Kyra, and the Wolverines are going to press down 11. It seemed like the momentum was swinging in UVU's favor about 5 minutes ago.
And it took a huge swing in the other direction.
Yeah, it did. Weidman breaks the press for Nevada. That's Amber Smith. No good. That shot attempt was by Danica Sharp. Rebounded by Tina Doughty. Still enough time for the Wolverines to get back in it. They are a very capable shooting team. They need to get hot at the right moment. Katie, leading scorer for the Wolverines with 16. Doughty right behind her with 15. Katie down low, 1 dribble, right-handed scoop. Little flip shot there from Katie, and she gets on the board.
She's got some post moves too. Did a nice little move to one shoulder, came back around and put it in.
It's going to come down to the defensive end for UVU right now. They force a missed shot, but Nisha LaSure cleans up the miss and gets a bucket. She has quietly had a very nice game. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. And when it hasn't been Mengetti, it's been LaSure for Nevada.
It LaSure has, Matt.
Tina, no good. Rebounded by Weidman of Nevada. They got a look over here in the corner. Baseline J, a little short. Rebounded by LaSure, and she can't finish. Rebounded by Kyra. She's being pressured by Weidman.
And the Wolverines just look kind of gassed right now.
They've been pushing hard. Kyra's breathing hard. We haven't seen Whitney Jenkins in a long time. She's got to be fresh. Katie for three. It's good. Katie Kuklok.
Some life sprung back into the Wolverines, 55-63.
A stop here, Kyle, could really make this interesting. Need some fresh bodies out there, though.
Yeah.
Kyra commits the foul on Danica Sharp. Nice play from the senior there to get a trip to the free throw line. Wolverines have just hit a three-pointer, cutting the lead to 8. It's Katie Kuklok with 21. We'll take a break and see if the Wolverines can get back in it here on UVU TV.
I'm Sylvia Bentley, an anthropology student at UVU studying ancient Peru, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm graduating with a diploma and a resume.
Wolverines just hit a three to cut it to 8, but it's going to be Nevada on the free throw line. And with 3:05 remaining, UVU's got to score basically on every possession, and they've got to stop Nevada from scoring on every possession.
Yeah, it seems like Nevada's been having their way offensively over the last few minutes of this game. As you said before, the Wolverines had a nice momentum swing in their favor with a couple of back-to-back threes from none other than Katie Kuklok, but it totally changed. And
it's going to come down to defense, Kyle. But right now, there's not much you can do when there is a shooter on the free throw line. It is Danica Sharp, who has 5 points. She has not shot the ball well, 1 of 8. But she's been really active defensively and getting loose balls and
she did have a huge
free throws.
She had a huge three-pointer not long ago that I think started that momentum swing for Nevada.
Oh yeah, that was a big bucket from the senior, and she gets both free throws. She's up to 7 points now. Leading scorer is Mungetti for Nevada, but Sharp has pitched in a great amount. Tina with it, down 10, down the lane, and there's a foul call. Who will it be on? Is it Mungetti's final foul? It is. She is done. She can't believe it, and neither can Coach Jane Albright. See ya. Yes, just a funny exchange here between the official and Coach Jane Albright. The official kind of signaled over to Coach with 5 fingers up, representing 5 fouls. And what did Coach say?
She said, "Does that mean I have to take her out?" I thought it was pretty comical.
It's easy to be comical when you're winning by 10. If they were losing right now, she probably wouldn't be as funny.
Yeah, she would be livid, I'm sure.
Tina on the free throw line where she's 11 of 12. Make that 12 of 13. The majority of Tina's points have come from the free throw line, and credit to her for fighting through a tough shooting night to find a way to contribute. And the second free throw is no good by Tina.
So Nevada has the ball. They get it over to 13. She kicks it out to the wing to number 21. Driving baseline, getting stuck, but a beautiful inlet pass into number 32.
Yep, that's Ariel Weidman, a senior from Chino Hills, California. It's going to be difficult for UVU to come back down 11 with such little time left. Tina around the screen, knives down the lane, and can't get the layup to go. And those are shots that Tina normally makes.
Yeah, we saw her put up a lot of difficult buckets in their exhibition matchup. They just have not been falling for her today.
Nevada trying to seal the deal on their first game of the season. They did have an exhibition win over San Francisco State, 82-69, but this is the first game that actually counts in the record book.
So there's a minute 52 left, 56-67. Nevada has a pretty commanding lead. I think we're gonna see some three-point shots launched up at about this time.
It's gonna have to take some three-point shots. Tina down the lane. Passes down to Karchner, one dribble, and finishes with the right hand, Carly Karchner. And we have a timeout from Kathy Nixon and the Wolverines. Down 9 with a minute 44. If they can force some turnovers. Here's a replay. Karchner, nice finish there as Julia Selborn of Nevada contested the shot, but Karchner finished it, and Karchner again with a nice performance tonight off the bench. 3 points, 3 rebounds, an assist. Not bad.
No, not bad at all. And, you know, she did a great job of getting positioned for that play. So once again, there's a minute 44 left in this game. The Wolverines are down 9, 58-67. If the Wolverines can get a few three-point shots and get a couple of stops, they do have a shot to win this game still. But those gloomy, dark clouds are starting to loom over that Wolverine bench over there.
Yeah, and Kyle, I know that we've talked about this a lot, and first, I need to admit that I am, and you can attest to this, I am a pessimistic person kind of by nature. So it's easy for me to see the negative over the positive, and that's not to say that UVU, what a beautiful pass off the inbounds play to Weidman. But it's easy for me to see the things that go wrong versus right, and UVU has done some nice things tonight, but the real glaring deficiency in the game as Katie Kuklok buries another three-pointer. But the big deficiency is just they have been unable to score in the half court.
Oh, and Katie Kuklok gets a steal, dives on the floor, but the Nevada Wolfpack gets it back.
Good effort there from Katie. That would have been impressive if they would have came up with that basketball. They can still get a stop here. Wise not to take the shot. Julie Selborn, the IQ on display there. Almost a steal by Kyra. Really gassed unit here. I'm surprised we haven't seen more subs, and that bucket might finish it off, Kyle, but I'll let you speak in just a moment, but I just want to finish my comment here as, you know, 27% shooting for UVU, that's a tough percentage, and had they been able to get some easier buckets in the half court, this would have been a different game.
Oh yeah, it would have been so much different, and the Wolverines really stayed alive in this game by shooting free throws. They didn't shoot it quite as well as we had hoped. Their free throw percentage was sitting at 71% for the game. We had hoped that they'd get about 80. We had that expectation because we know that they can shoot it very well, and you know, they just didn't quite get up to par today.
No, they had plenty of attempts, 35 attempts. They were 25 of 35, and coming back to those Costa Vida keys that we talked about in the pregame, if you put a check mark by every one that they were able to do, they did stay out of foul trouble, so check to them, but they did not win the rebounding battle. They're trailing 43-36 in the rebounding department. And a lot of those rebounds have led to points, second chance points, 13 of them for Nevada. And then also the free throw shooting, we were hoping for 80%, and it didn't happen. And had they shot 80%, Kyle, they'd have 4 or 5 extra points right now. And down 5 with a minute left, you're still in it. So if they had shot 80% and rebounded better, it'd be a different game.
Yeah, it would be, like you said, very different. The Wolverines, their backs are very tightly against the wall. It looks like this one's going to be in the books in favor of Nevada.
Jumping the gun on the conclusion of this game, huh? Only down
a little
8.
bit.
A steal here and a 3 could make it interesting. And there's Tina on the foul. That's Tina's first personal foul. And Tina, 18 points tonight, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, but it's that 2 for 15 from the field. I mean, credit to her for shooting an exceptional percentage from the free throw line at 14 of 16. But
It just wasn't her night. You know, she had a lot of shots that she normally makes that just rattled in and out.
That happens.
It does.
No fault to Tina. She's a tremendous player. She was selected to be a part of the Western Athletic Conference first team preseason choice by the media and coaches. So she is well respected here at Utah Valley, but also in the conference. She will come back from this, no doubt about it.
Oh, sure.
Kyra knifes down the lane and cannot finish, and it goes out of bounds off Nevada. Even though that didn't go in, the Wolverines needed more of that from Kyra and other players.
Definitely. It seemed like they did a good job of penetrating, and you know that the transition offense was there in the first half, but we didn't see a whole lot of it in the second half.
No. Ashley Clems to inbound. She gets it to Katie. Will she take a three? She will. In and out, no good. And she fell to the floor, not sure if the defender ran over her or not. And there is a foul committed by UVU. So just to update you at home, normally we do a post-game interview with a player and a coach. We will not have time tonight as the men's game looms large against IUPUI, so stay tuned for that. Immediately following the conclusion of this game, there'll be a little break, and then we'll come on with that game. And because that game is so tight up against this one, we won't be able to have our usual post-game show. So I'm sure Coach Nixon is going to be pleased not to have to speak with us.
Yeah, you never want to go and do an interview if you're the losing coach. So nice little break for her.
74-63 is the score here. And Nevada is going to get the first win of the season. They had a rough year last year, Kyle. They were 8-23. They finished last. But it looks like a different year. And there's Tina Doughty. That's the Tina we remember and we're accustomed to seeing, getting into the lane and finishing.
Yeah, and finishing at will. She is a pure scorer. She does such a good job at it. Once again, just not her night.
No. And I know that we've said this a few times, but we're not trying to be critical here. I mean, it's just stats don't lie. And I have bad nights broadcasting, I have bad nights sleeping, and people have bad nights playing sports, and it's just been that kind of night for Tina.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about the Wolverines. I don't look at this loss here as, you know, the way the season's going to play out. I think that they're going to have a winning season. You know, Mimi Mangetti, you've got to give a lot of credit to her because I think she was the difference maker in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Even when she wasn't on the floor, I think you've alluded to this a few times. Just mentally, she changed the mental makeup of the game. UVU did not want to go inside. And that was all because of Mangetti's presence.
Yeah.
75-65. Wolfpack will shoot a couple free throws, and this one's about wrapped up. Ashley Baugh, Clems is about to check in. Carly Karchner, Katie Kuklok, who had a superb night. 24 points, 6 of 12 from the three-point line. 50% from three is a very good number. Chipped in with 6 rebounds.
She shot 50% from the field in general, too, 8 of 16.
Katie Kuklok, someone we singled out in the pregame, played well, but Whitney Jenkins and Tina Doughty just weren't as good as they normally are tonight. And we haven't seen Jenkins in a long time. She only has 3 points and 3 rebounds. Kyra for 3, in and out, that kind of night. And I find it very ironic, Kyle, that the final 3-point attempt for UVU is a perfect example of what kind of night it's been for UVU.
Yeah, in and out. It's like that really defines it.
(77-65). Nevada will get their first win of the year. Up next for UVU, they play tomorrow night against Walla Walla, a chance to rebound, and then they'll go on a 3-game road trip. They'll start at George Mason, then they'll stay in the state of Virginia against Longwood, and then they'll take a trip down south in the state of Utah to Southern Utah. Then they'll come home for Sacramento State. So that's a kind of a quick look at what's coming up for UVU. When the games aren't on UVU TV, you can listen to me and Kyle on a live stream available at wolverinegreen.com. And click under the women's basketball link. You'll find a link for the audio for every home game and road game as well.
Absolutely. And, you know, an interesting stat to look at here for the Wolfpack, they had some pretty even scoring. They had 9 points, 8 points, 10, 12, 7, you know, pretty even scoring amongst their team. And then the Wolverines, you have Kuklok with 24, Doughty with 21, Prowsey with 4, Karchner with 3, Spooner Knight had 9, but other than that, there was really not a lot of scoring other than the 2 players with 20 plus.
Yeah, and if you look at the Wolverines, there was not enough scoring from the Wolverines. You had Kuklok and Doughty with 24 and 22. Spooner Knight had 9, but other than that, only a few players were able to chip in a couple points. So it was a tough night for Utah Valley. They lose 67-79 in Nevada. The story was the defense and presence of Mimi Mungetti. She was good for Nevada. Kyle, can we get a final word from you before we sign off for the afternoon?
Again, I just want to say I think the Wolverines fought very hard. They played really well defensively, and I think that they're going to bounce back from this, and I'm not too worried about it. So I look forward to their next game. Wolverines play tomorrow night. You can hear that game on wolverinegreen.com. Coming up at 7 o'clock here on UVU TV, the men's Wolverine basketball team will host IUPUI. He is Kyle Bruderer. I'm Matthew Biamonte. Thank you to everyone at the UVU TV production studios for putting on a great broadcast, and we will see you next time. Have a good evening.